So I'm just about to do a walk around the house, and I'll move up and we'll go around. So these front windows are new, they've just been put in I think about a year ago, and the door is new, that's been put in too. And this is the area where the pins are. The pins are set throughout the whole of this range of this area, and they go down to the bedrock down below, and there's I think 4 pins on this side, 4 pins on the other side. So here you can see the strips where they put the pins in and the framework. So there's damage to that windowsill there, and that window's got gaps in the screens, so insects can get through, and it needs to be done, scheduled to be done. So here we're going into the backyard, and there's the spigot that's coming out from the air conditioning. So the air conditioning unit is relatively new. It was installed about a year or so ago. It's top of the line. The utility area. This is a boarded in area from the back of the garage, where when we go inside you'll see the utility areas, and that's starting to fragment down, and that's supposed to be being repaired, but depending on what we do, it will or will not be repaired. Go around and look at the fence. The fence is new. A friend of mine who's doing that work on my house put this in a year or so ago. I tend to forget now. It's a pretty big yard. I went around the house. Let's just shut that off for a moment. Got little cracks from the settling, and some more cracks from the settling. You'll notice along the wall here, see that section. If this is flat, then you get it right. That out. So from this corner down here is where it was, and the house has settled throughout time that many inches down, going down the end. These French windows are brand new. They were put in just recently. A little bit of breaks in the concrete down here. That window is new. That was put in when the French windows were put in. And there's, you see it as transient cracks, micro cracks in here. Crack along this windowsill. And yeah, there's the more bigger of the cracks here. They're taking place at quite a relatively slow rate, because this area should now be held up with the pins in on the other side. The concrete slab really can only tilt in one direction, if any, so I don't think there's anything special going on. Let's see up at the top there. Let me go around here. That little thing sticking up. That's a fan. It's a UV activated fan to kind of keep the attic cool. Into the garage, there's micro cracks along this wall here. I don't know if there's anything wrong here. This was put in by the former tenant who built the utility area behind here. And so we've got the ductwork for the air conditioning. This ductwork was put in, I don't know, quite a few years ago, but not that many, 5 years ago. So that's relatively new. And we've got similar cracks along here. These are being progressively making minor adjustments over the time. I mean, it really isn't happening at any great rate. And step. Here we are looking out towards the door that leads to the garage and the utility area. So there's the water heater. And there isn't much in here that's... I'll put that on. The paper's peeling off the ceiling, but I haven't been able to do anything with that. Let's give you a good run around. So this wall here backs out into the outside, and this is the walk-in kitchen. It's just the peeling in here. And the fact that it's a bit dirty, but that's really not big deal. Everything else in here is good. There's real no issues. There's just some paper on the ceiling that was peeling, and I just pulled it off. So we have what you call the living room. There's essentially no issues in here. The doors brand new, along with the windows. On the ceiling, there's some. These micro cracks on the ceiling were here from before I was here. So they go back 15 years. See more of them here. These were originally came from what was happening in the house before. I think this was built in 1956, so this is the major crack that has been occurring over, I suppose, the last 10 years. It's mainly the plaster. And, yeah, it's coming out of here. Going over to the central fan. These French windows were just put in recently. You can see there's a little bit of cracking in there. That really hasn't changed very much over time. And so this is sort of the dining area. And yeah, the paperwork on the ceiling is starting to come off, but that's not really a big deal. Just these cracks here. And as I said, the pins on the front end of the house, the front left side of the house are pretty much holding everything up now. This is the company who actually did the pinning on the house. I don't know whether that's clear or not. Doesn't seem to be focused to me. The pins, I'm sure you're aware of, they're called push pins that went down to the bedrock when that work was done. So this is the kitchen area. There's no issues in here. The fridge is old. It was here when I first came here. And the sink's new, really repaired. That's a new sink. It's got a garbage disposal unit in there. That working? There's a reset button on that, so if it gets clogged up, you can just reset it. So, walkway. Look at the bathroom I don't really use. So that window is new. This toilet I've got switched off because it kind of got this leaking, dripping inside. So I've just disconnected that. It's a messy bath, I've never used. And the rest of it fit together. So there's no issues in here, apart from a slight amount of peeling of the paper. And there's a little crack over there. There's a little crack down there. Other than that, there's nothing really in here that's a problem. The lights are bright, aren't they? So can I walk around? This is we'll go in here. It's just a closet for putting things in. Oh, we can see, oops. This is a major stream crack down there. And I think that electric box is connected with an alarm system, which I've had switched on. There's nothing really up here. So the main thing in the bedroom is really just that micro stuff on the ceiling comes from where it was before. This is just it's not much different at all. These are just, over the last 15 years, they've just kind of broken up a bit. There's a fair amount of cracking around this window where that tape is. I've taped it up because there are gaps there. So this window is going to get replaced, but there's a fair amount of cracks there. And on the ceiling, these are just the micro cracks that have just been extended from where they were before. The most of it is where this side of the house has settled out. And there's obviously quite an extensive crack down there. But the pins are under this side of the house now, so this isn't really going to go anywhere. I think that's fairly stabilised. So we're here. The only other part is my computer room. There's really nothing in here at all that's an issue. This leads into the attic. Put a light on. And there's nothing really in here that's a problem at all. So that's that. You might even recognise this. I've got an Arduino system that I haven't even gotten undone thing with, but I built this bench. There's nothing really much on the ceiling either. I haven't had any leakage, so the roof is aged from when I came here, so it's 15 years and change, so it's up and coming for having something done with. This window's a bit of a mess. This window's a bit of a mess because the insects have gotten through the screen and brought shit in here. Sorry, this is all kind of out of focus now. There it is. And I haven't cleaned it, obviously. Bit of a crack down the window there. There's a little bit of a break in there, so this window is due to be replaced. Whether it gets replaced or not remains to be seen, but that can be. Yeah, so I think it covers everything in regard to inside the house.